I came across a quote by Osho yesterday that really resonated deeply with me. And I say deeply because it relates to the quote. So I'll just say the quote. Here's what it is: Sadness gives depth, happiness gives height, sadness gives roots, happiness gives branches. Happiness is like a tree going into the sky, and sadness is like the roots going down into the womb of the earth. Both are needed, and the higher a tree goes, the deeper it goes simultaneously. The bigger the tree, the bigger will be its roots. In fact, it is always in proportion. That is its balance. And that quote really resonates so much with me lately because I'm realizing that in this reality, in order to reach the highest of heights in terms of joy and happiness and awareness and perception and all that, you have to go into the roots as well. Like, one way to look at it is you have to go into your fears, your resistances, your traumas, your limiting beliefs, all of those things. You have to go into those in order to become the strongest version of yourself above the surface. And we live in duality. Everything consists of the yin and yang. That's the balance. So because of that, the roots and the tree are directly proportional in this reality. It's that balance of yin and yang within this duality construct. And this also ties into resistance and growth. The resistance we face is equally proportionate and equally balanced to our greatest potential, essentially. So if you want to reach your greatest potential, you're going to encounter resistance that is directly proportional to that. And Aubrey Marcus on a recent podcast said that resistance is necessary because if it didn't exist, we would automatically just escalate to enlightenment immediately. That's kind of the gist of what he said. So we need that resistance in order to play this game. Otherwise, we would just, float up to knowing everything immediately. And that's no fun. You play a video game because of resistance. You play a video game because the fun is in the challenge. The fun is in the resistance you face and the obstacles you have to conquer. It's not fun if you have all of the abilities to do anything, whenever you want. That's not fun. So the fun is in the resistance. And another way this quote resonates with me is how I'm experiencing life now. So over the last year, I've done a lot of inner work, and I've grown so much, and I've become much more aware or awakened, or woke, whatever the word is that you want to use. I've become more woke. And so I'm realizing all of this stuff. I'm more sensitive and intuitive as well. So I'm able to find immense joy in simple things. Like I could stare at a leaf and find immense joy in it. So that's the above the surface part. But I'm also more aware of my fears and resistances and more aware of when I'm feeling off. So those lows, those roots, I get more into those as well. And it's just a part of the human experience. We all feel fear, we all feel resistances and all of that stuff. As a human, I don't think we're going to get to the point where it's all, unconditional love and bliss constantly. That's just not a part of this game we're playing. So I'm deeply experiencing when I do have those fears and resistances and things like that. And because I'm hyper aware of it, I'm able to kind of go into it and then release it as well. So going into that helps cultivate the tree that's growing above the surface. So it's that balance. Go into the roots to grow even bigger. The roots grow, the tree above the surface grows as well. And yeah, that's the negative and positive balance. But really nothing's negative or positive. It just is. So don't label it. If you neglect your roots, if you neglect those fears and the sadness below the surface, your tree is never going to grow high. You have to go into that. You have to go into the roots in order for the tree to grow to its highest potential. And that's why a lot of people are the equivalent of like little puny bushes. You don't experience the lowest lows, and you definitely don't experience the highest highs. You're kind of living in this lukewarm monotony. And that's the dull reality that a lot of people are living in, which is kind of sad. And I'm sorry if I offended any bushes out there if you're listening to this. It's just a metaphor. So, yeah, that quote is just amazing. You have to go into your roots in order to grow to your highest potential. You can't just think it's all sunshine and rainbows and neglect the roots. You have to go into the roots. And also, it doesn't serve your purpose to get hung up in your roots as well. Some people get hung up on the negativity and the fear and all of that. And it requires some degree of self-mastery to be able to address it and become aware of it, but essentially get over it and move on. So that's where the balance and the self-mastery comes into play. You have to embrace both in order to grow into your true potential. All right, so be a tree. Be a mighty tree, all right? Peace, much love, and one love, baby.